Hi guys, welcome back, and today we're gonna make some pancakes. I have all my stuff and I have my recipe. So we're gonna start with the first step. We're going to put 3/4 a cup of milk in here, and the line right above the 2/3 is the 3/4. So we're gonna pour that in. I'm gonna put the milk back here in case I need it later. And now we're going to pour vinegar until it reaches the 1 cup. So now that that is done, we're gonna set this aside for around 5 minutes. You don't have to do that, but I think it's best to do it so that it activates the milk and vinegar, and that gives it a better taste. Okay, so for the flour, it is 1 cup, and this is the step of the process that we have to put all the dry ingredients in while we're waiting for that mixture over there to become finished. So now that I've had this flour done, I'm gonna also put that back there. Okay, so for the baking powder, it is 1 teaspoon, but I like to do double because that makes it more fluffy, and fluffy pancakes are just the best. Okay, so now we are gonna do our baking soda, which is just 1/2 a teaspoon. Okay, now we're going to mix all of this, but wait a minute. I think we're forgetting something again. Cinnamon. Now, cinnamon gives it a really nice flavor, and you kind of just want to rain it. Like, you don't even have to measure it, just like a good dump. Well, not maybe a massive dump, just a good, rain. Make it rain cinnamon, basically, like in the last video. And so, now that this is all mixed, it's like flour. So, now we are going to grab our mixture over here, and since it is not entirely done yet, I'm gonna move that over there, and we need about 2 tablespoons of butter. So, I'm gonna grab about half of this and put it in here. Now, you don't want the butter to explode, because if you worked in the kitchen and you microwave butter, you know that butter can just explode. So what you're gonna want to do to prevent that is put a small plate over it on the top. So now that it is in the microwave melting, we are going to grab this, and we're gonna crack our egg actually. And now we're gonna pour our egg in here. Okay, our butter is ready now, so I'm going to pour this in and place this on our extra plate. You don't have to have an extra plate, but I think it is best to have it for when you're done using a measuring cup or something. Wait a minute, I'm forgetting our vanilla. Vanilla is one of the ingredients that add a lot of flavor. It's not in the original recipe, neither is the cinnamon, but those are a few things that make a big difference in making it very delicious. Okay, now that this is fully mixed, I am going to pour this into our dry ingredient mixture. Okay, now we're gonna mix this, and you're gonna want to mix it very nice, because you don't want you want to keep mixing until you don't see any more flour, because that means it is fully incorporated and you can put it to cook. Something else you want to look out for is lumps. You want to keep mixing until you don't really see any more lumps. Okay, now I know we already put cinnamon in the dry ingredient mixture. But we're going to add a little more drizzle. And then I'm going to show you what makes these cinnamon roll pancakes. Now, what makes a cinnamon roll is that we're going to put we're going to put a lot of cinnamon, and then we're going to give it a small mix. Not entirely, but like that, so. It's going to look like that. I'm not sure if you can see, but it's going to look a lot like that. Now, you don't have to do this. This is optional, but I find it good to let it sit for a few minutes because that gives time for the baking powder to activate. Okay, I've let this sit for a few minutes, and now I have this preheating, and you want to preheat it to 350. You can also make these in the pan, but it's better to use a griddle if you have one because then you can make more of them at once. Okay, I've moved you over here so you can get a better view of the cooking area. I'm going to move this right here, and now I'm going to grab our measuring cup to scoop out the pancakes. So first, once this is preheated, which it is, you're going to want to grab your butter, which I'm going to have to do over here. But I'm going to move this a little out here and grab our butter. Now, you're going to want to grab a good chunk because it has to melt across the entire pan. Now for the first scoop. Now the reason they're cinnamon roll pancakes is because look at that. That looks good. And that looks like a cinnamon pancake. Not really cinnamon roll, but it looks very good and tastes amazing. Now the measuring cup I'm using is 1/3, but you can use any size you prefer. Like if you want smaller pancakes, you can do 1/4. Or if you want bigger pancakes, you can do 1/2. I wouldn't recommend doing completely massive pancakes like they do at Kiki's or First Watch, but you could use a 1 cup measuring if you want. But that'd be a very big pancake. Okay, now you're gonna want to wait for this to cook, and it has not cooked yet. So I'm going to leave this for a minute to cook. Okay, so now they are about done cooking on this side. And ooh, that one's very nice. Ooh, that looks good. Oh, that looks beautiful. Now, the serving size for this is around 8 because my griddle can only fit 6 at a time, but there is still some batter in the bowl. I like to get a cooling rack so when the pancakes are done, I can set them down somewhere. And they look very nice, but while I was flipping one of the pancakes, one of them accidentally fell on another pancake. So when that happens, you want to flip it again because you don't want to eat raw batter. And it might be a little soft, but that's okay because while it's on the cooling rack, it's still warm, so it heats. So it keeps cooking. And it starts to firm up while it's on the cooling rack. Now, since we have a little bit more batter, you don't actually have to put more butter because there's already the grease from the other pancakes. So you can just start making the second ones, which I'm going to do. And it actually looks like there's enough for 3 more pancakes. And I've noticed that it kind of ranges from like 6 to 10 pancakes because there's actually quite a bit of batter left. So I'm going to use it to expand these pancakes. Okay, so these are actually cooking very fast, and this one is already done. And I'm gonna need a second spatula, actually, because it is quite a big one. Oh my gosh. That's a mess. Okay. I made a mess of that pancake by accident. But hey, accidents happen, especially in the kitchen. So we're gonna chill with it, and we're just gonna also have a small baby pancake. Quite a few actually. There's like a bunch of little drops here. So these look about done, so I'm gonna serve myself and then we can taste these perfection. Well, they look good. I have my stack of pancakes, butter. Now, all that's left is one thing, and I think it's pretty important. Oh man, that's a lot of syrup. I think I put too much, but oh my gosh, it looks beautiful. Okay, let's try this. Oh, just look at that goodness. You don't even need to put sugar. Maple syrup is enough. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe if you want to see more delicious recipes like this. And have a great day.